Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central. This beautiful Tuesday morning, reaching you live from the city of aquatic splendor, Lagos State. And Nigerians are waking up to a new reality. The events in the Middle East have serious implications on the lives and livelihood of Nigerians. Petrol prices have gone up, and as a result of that, we're expecting inflationary pressures. But we'll dig deep into this and more during the course of our programming this morning. So wherever you're watching us, from Orlando to Ojota, you're welcome to Breakfast Central. I am Benga Aboroa.
Absolutely. Benga did set the tone right by mentioning that there have been implications, global implications for the cost of petrol. I bet when the US-Israel-Iran war started, a number of Nigerians felt, hey, yeah, peace be unto them. It doesn't affect us. Now you see how it affects you. We'll be explaining further and delving deeper into the correlation between the US-Israel-Iran war and why the pump price of petrol is skyrocketing here in Nigeria. We hope that you're able to make it to work today. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. We're streaming live on YouTube, News Central TV Live, where we'll take your comments. I am Olive Modi.
Well, I'm Joe Hansen, welcoming you to Breakfast Central. It's Tuesday morning, another day in the working week. Olive and Wing have said it all. The focus this morning has been on how Nigerians are surviving the hardship. The hardship basically includes the power sector, the epileptic power that's been supplied to every single neighborhood, and not forgetting to the insecurity crisis that's bedeviling the country in terms of the turnout, especially the support that's coming from security operatives. It pretty much seems like there's a lot to talk about in that aspect. And then the big one, fuel. Despite the subsidy, no one had foreseen that we will be going through this. So experts have even called for the government to reintroduce subsidy just for a short time to help Nigerians cushion the effect of the war between the United States, Israel and Iran. So that's a conversation that we're going to look into. I know you're at home and you're wondering, why is it that the fight in Iran and the United States and Israel is actually affecting us? And why is it that we have to spend so much money? Well, we'll have all that conversation in a bit, and we'll let you know the areas and aspects that you should brace up for to actually look to spend even excessively or even more. But then again, welcome to Breakfast Central. Like we always say, you can drop a comment or two. If you go to all our socials, we're streaming live on X, on Facebook, also on YouTube. That's where you can also go to drop your comments and let us know what you think. But let's start off the show as usual with our wake-up conversations. Let's also mention that we'll be having our reporters join us in between. There are developing stories. There was a school collapse yesterday. There was also a building collapse, I beg your pardon, a school building collapse yesterday. There was also another issue that took place yesterday in between, another attack in the outskirts of Borno State. We're starting to see repeated attacks every single day.
It's almost like it's expected. And we're getting into dangerous territory where it's almost normalized and people just shrug and go about their businesses as usual, as long as it doesn't affect you. The presidency doesn't even bother to acknowledge some of these deaths, even when they involve senior serving members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and that's an absolute shame. Very sad situation. And we're starting to wonder what this would yield or what this would lead to, basically. But without further ado, let's jump into our wake-up conversations this morning. And let's start off with a news that's not rather sweet, but one that is bitter, and it's caused a lot of mixed reactions from Nigerians. Earlier on, we did talk about how the war in Iran, United States and Israel may likely affect the price of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, and not forgetting to diesel, and how it will trickle down to everyday living of every single Nigerian. And as we speak, like an unwelcomed visitor returning too soon, the fuel price hike has resurfaced. There's no queue, but not just yet, as the Dangote Petroleum Refinery again increased its ex-depot prices for petroleum products. The refinery has raised the gantry price of premium motor spirit PMS to 1,175. Take note, it was 995 naira just
2 days ago, and now it's 1,175 per litre from 995. While automotive gas oil, also known as diesel, now sells at 1,620 naira per litre. In some places, 1,700, like the one I saw this morning, up from 1,430. Industry sources say the revised pricing template has been communicated to marketers, marking the 4th price review since March 2 and reflecting mounting pressure in Nigeria's downstream petroleum market. Now, the adjustment comes amid a surge in global oil prices, with Brent crude trading above $102 per barrel and West Texas Intermediate nearing $101. Market analysts, or better still analysts, say the move by the refinery is likely to influence depot and retail fuel prices across the country, and marketers recalibrate their supply costs. But what you can see there on the screen shows that you will no longer get petrol for a lesser price like you thought you will. But Benga, this is
I mean, this is not the time to be visiting friends
or
making or going sightseeing or unnecessary waka waka. It's going to be an expensive venture.
Very expensive, honestly.
It's a problem.
I'm even thinking of how
I mean,
you and I
crazy.
can be
But
carpooling.
I look forward to speaking to the experts. So people are wondering, Nigeria is blessed with an abundance of crude oil underneath waters, and of course in the Delta region, that we're not expecting ships to come from the Straits of Hormuz or the Middle East. So why are we paying so much for something that is underneath the earth in Nigeria? It's not like we're going. So how does it work? I mean, I'm not informed enough to give an opinion, but I would really want the experts to tell us why we should be paying this much money for something we have. I understand the sector has been deregulated, but that reason enough it doesn't all go well for me.
It doesn't all go well. Yeah, so the sad thing is, I did a little bit of research regarding this, and unfortunately what we see is there's a huge link, right, between the Israel-Iran war and the oil price. So there's an itinerary of things. First, U.S. strikes Iran. Then the Middle East supply is threatened. Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz, and why that Strait of Hormuz is a huge part of the conversation is because 20% of global oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And then it then affects global crude price. And then you're wondering, why is global crude price rising? And then how's that affecting us? Well, it's because, yes, there's a Dangote refinery, but unfortunately, we're not able to generate enough. We still export crude and then import fuel. And with the price of Brent crude going up, on the face of it, it's more money for the government because we make more money from exporting, right? But we're importing refined fuel. We're still not,
So Dangote's production is not enough to take care of domestic needs.
well, so whilst he does his, for now, we still have to import.
But
so
to make
regardless,
up for the...
yes, and even when the government sells to Dangote, from what the CEO had said, they still sell based on international standards. They still use the global benchmark to be able. So they're paying in dollars. They're putting a lot of. I mean, okay, that's a statement there, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. That's a statement.
Okay, so Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals reassures Nigerians of its unwavering commitment to serving as a stabilizing force, and recent shocks in the international, okay, I'm unable to read that. International oil markets is a bit far. The conflict in the Middle East has led to the shutdown of some refineries and cuts in refinery production across the world. This is leading to a global scarcity of petroleum products. China has banned export of gasoline and diesel. The Dangote refinery will ensure that Nigeria is insulated from these supply shocks by prioritizing supply to the domestic market. This is one of the many benefits of domestic refining. The conflict has driven crude oil and freight prices it's sharply higher, with benchmark Brent prices rising by about 26% within a short period to above $84.0 per barrel. In response, the refinery implemented a measured adjustment of 100 naira per litre in its ex-depot price of premium motor spirits, representing an increase of about 12%. The refinery has absorbed 20% of the cost escalation for now. to cushion the domestic market. All this sounds like plenty English, but we'll have the experts join us to, speak about how this affects us and how this, impacts us. But the summary of it will be: Nigeria exports crude, foreign refineries process it, Nigeria buys back finished fuel at international prices, and then it's reflected at the pump price. So while the government is gaining, because if you look at
they really gaining?
Yeah, they're gaining. They're gaining. Yes, they're gaining. So it's a +2 -2 or a +1 -1, because yes, they're gaining because the budget was drawn based on the budget. I think the benchmark of $64 right to a barrel, but now it's almost double. It's surged to over 102. So when we export, Nigeria government is gaining. But on the flip side, the citizens are the ones that will bear the cost, because the pump price will then increase because we're paying more to import fuel. And then when the pump price increases, that then affects everything. It's a ripple effect. Cost of feeding, cost of everything. And the scary part about all of this is there's no guarantee how long this will last. We just came off the back of the US-Ukraine excuse.
Yeah, and it was shocking.
And it was shocking to the world.
It's still farther off from us, all the way in Eastern Europe. And then look at what's happening almost in our backyard in the Middle East.
And we don't know how long this will last. That's the scary part. We don't know how long this will last. So there have been speculations, but I'm sure we'll talk about that much later.
So basically what I know is Dangote needs 13 crude oil cargoes to provide and to produce enough petrol that would take care of the domestic market. He needs 13 crude oil cargoes. What Dangote gets from the NNPCL is 5.
Wow, it's not enough.
5 crude oil cargoes. That's what Dangote gets. And because he gets 5 crude oil cargoes, Dangote needs to source for the other crude oil cargo from outside of the country. So he gets the rest from the United States and other countries. So he still imports, and goes ahead to
and
provide.
he will be buying at international.
Exactly. So NNPCL gives him only 5. That was the agreement. And coupled with what the MD had said, they also have to pay these in dollars and everything. That's 1. 2, because he does that, Dangote Refinery is not a Nigerian-owned refinery. Let's get that right, because Dangote has also put up the refinery for sale. NNPC only has a share in the Dangote Refinery. What that simply means is, because the Nigerian government has failed to fix its own refineries, the local refineries, we're only dependent on a Dangote refinery, which is not a Nigerian-owned. It's not solely owned by Nigeria. Because Dangote, of course, has a little percentage in terms of that. So whether you look at Dangote Refinery as, yes, it's a Nigerian, is Africa's richest
Imagine
man.
if there was no Dangote.
Imagine.
We're even getting somewhere. That's where we were thinking of. So these issues are there. Now, what we're trying to do is, if you want to look at it from the government aspect, which is what I want us to look at it from my angle, that's what I want to look at it from. If that's, I've raised 2 points. One, Dangote only gets 5 crude oil cargoes. He gets the others from outside. So he's spending money. He's a businessman. He needs to make his money back. 2, NNPCL has a share in the Dangote refinery. However, they still do not supply him all the 13 crude oil cargoes. He needs to get them. And he pays the NNPCL for the ones he gets in the global market rates. It's not like it's Naira.
Yeah, it's not doing him any favors.
3, just to mention this point as well. In as much as Nigerians are complaining that, why is the price not coming down and all that, our own refineries are moribund. They are not working. If they were working, then we can be certain that the government will start making a whole lot in terms of income. Then number 4, because our refineries are not working, therefore, the monies we're expecting that the government will make will not be much. Why? The government has borrowed money and has used our crude to pay up front.
At a lower rate.
At a lower rate, not at the global rate now that is going for. So whether you like it or not, for me, I know many would say it's a win or loss. For me, it's a loss.
It's a loss.
Because the government failed to invest in its own refineries. Had even the government had invested in its own refineries, we wouldn't have.
And if we're not borrowing at an alarming rate,
Yes.
Remember, President Buhari did that as well. This current administration has borrowed more. So it's like we're paid for crude. You're paying ahead of time, and then you are getting money. So, but then again, like we said, these are just the aspects
but there are
that we're
serious
looking
implications
at.
for everyday people, and that's my major concern, because salaries are not going to increase.
Of course
Business
not.
owners are not so altruistic.
And the value of everybody's salary is then reduced. So what you typically would have done with the 500,000 naira, the weight of that, your purchasing power is reducing, whereas your earning power is not increasing. What could we have done to deal with this or to combat this? Like Joe had highlighted some of the causes as well, is to improve our domestic refining capacity. Unfortunately, that's not something that can be done in a week or 2 weeks. They've been on this matter for the longest
use
time.
Generators, diesel.
Yes. So,
energy cost factor
so
in a lot
that's the saddest part
business.
about all of this. We can't improve our refining capacity. And when we talk about even our OPEC quota, how well have we done? We fluctuated with how much we're exporting every month. So if we're able to increase our production output and we're not being attacked by vandals and all the other reasons and the theft that happens, we ensure that our output is increased, that would help stabilize things. Unfortunately, this is also purchased in FX, and that puts a lot of strain on the naira. So in every way, really, it's going to affect our naira. I'm not going to be surprised. I know that I think 2 weeks back, we're talking about the projection of naira getting as low as 1,000 naira to $1, and there was excitement about that. The presidency, I believe, had mentioned that, and we're all excitedly counting down to that. But with the latest developments, it does not seem like that 1,000 naira to $1 is anywhere in sight. But then again, the question is, how does this affect the everyday Nigerian who's going to be taking a bus to from their house to their office, who maybe typically spent 1,000 naira on transport fare, but now be spending 3,000 naira, 4,000 naira. The vulcanizer, exactly, the barber who uses generator, even the person pumping tires. Back in the day, we used to pump our tires for like 50 naira. There's no way you can pump your tire for 50 naira now. 500. Pumping tire is 500 naira to pump tire. And in your mind, you're thinking, it's not just to put gas, but they're using petrol to run that device. They're queuing. Fuel scarcity has already started. Unfortunately, we're going to have artificial fuel scarcity.
And it's caused by the filling stations.
Shutting down.
Not selling. They're not opening because
they're
waiting for
because as much as I do not approve
meanwhile,
of
the
that,
stock they have, they bought it at a cheaper.
Yes, Benga. As much as I do not approve of their actions, but they're not in business for charity. They're not there for charity.
They should reflect
they're able to see. Dangote did stop selling for a while as well to be able to adjust.
He has even stopped supplying enough now.
Their pricing. So for some of them, it's like, okay, let's see how much it's costing, because regardless of what the cost is or whether they bought it at a cheaper rate, when they are trying to buy, they need to be able to match the purchasing power of what it will be by then. Let's see what Nigerians are saying. We're streaming on YouTube. You can go on YouTube to drop your comments. We'll take your comments and then we'll head to X. Let's take a few comments from YouTube. DJ says, for God's sake, how can you justify Nigerians paying more when we're making more money? The government is gaining and the people are losing. Is it the government that has the money or the people? Tinubu has failed to make the refineries work for over 2 years. If Tinubu had increased the crude oil production output and made the refineries to work, we would have been rejoicing by now. They're still looking at comments. Odinaka Sacramento says, Nigeria does not supply enough crude oil to Dangote Refinery as promised. The agreement was 15 vessels of crude oil per month, but delivers between 3 to 5 vessels. So he imports from the USA and others. Mokuye Chukwemeka, in response to DJ, says, you people expect a lot from Tinubu. Let's head now to X and see what the comments are saying. Good morning to our virtual audience on YouTube. Keep the comments coming. And now on X, Mazi Okwama says, local production ended up being a local premium subscription we didn't sign up for. At 1,175 naira per litre, Dangote is basically telling us that his refinery is running on tears and expensive vibes. We thought the price would crash, but the only thing crashing is our bank balance. And our next tweet, just imagine Dangote was not refining. Exactly. Sad that the Middle East tensions have pushed oil above $84 per barrel, forcing fuel prices in Nigeria up by about 100 naira per litre. Bad enough that our weak local supply chains keep us vulnerable, even from wars far away. Imagine if Nigeria had to rely on imports at this time. We would have been so sorry for ourselves. But, well, we are still relying on imports, just not at the magnitude that we typically would rely on. 1,175 naira from Dangote, 1,250 naira at the pump, diesel at 1,620 naira, and salaries still the same. Nobody is saving anybody here. The refinery was supposed to be the solution. Nigerians are still the ones paying. When does it end? Sadiq asks. And you may be right in part, but your insincerity is telling us that you procure your crude every 2 months is a turn-off. Or your insincerity in telling us that you procure your crude every 2 months is a turn-off. So the price hikes for now don't fly. NNPC and Nigerian presidents should confirm the quantity of PMS Nigerians need per day and sell at an affordable rate to us. Dangote Refinery has in the last 2 weeks increased prices immediately. There has been an increase in the price of crude oil in the global market. I hope when crude prices eventually start to fall, Dangote Refinery will also reduce prices with the same speed, Oye asks. And that's all that we have.
Yeah.
Still on YouTube, Chukau Chiama says, what does the average citizen enjoy from Nigeria?
What is the benefit?
What is the benefits?
Air is free.
The thing is, one thing we should also note is that whether we like it or not, there's still no power. Electricity is poor. People will still have to go and buy fuel to fuel their generators so they could sleep because there's no. So the problem is compounded. That's not just all. You also have the issue of the NNPC 210 trillion naira that has been missing, and Mr. Milikiari has failed to show up before the committee to explain where that money went to. And we heard there's an extra 5 billion that's also been missing just to change the name, to add L to NNPC. Now, if you calculate all that money, 210 trillion naira, which is about $151 billion, that money, like through the calculation, is enough to have fixed the 4 refineries or even build new refineries. Dangote used 20 trillion naira to set up this refinery. And how much is missing? 210 trillion naira. Do the math. That's enough to have gotten new refineries.
New Dangote refineries.
You know,
yeah.
new gantry, just get everything done and said. But you see, because 210 trillion naira is missing, nobody's saying anything. Now, who's going to suffer for it? Nigerians. But I like the way, just my final statement, I like what Labour ADC a member said. Adio, he put out a tweet yesterday, and I thought about it. He said, this is a time for someone from the presidency or the government to speak to Nigerians.
Nobody's saying
Nobody has
we're
addressed
operating
anybody.
on
NNPC
autopilot.
said nothing,
The only person that's even addressed us is the CEO of Dangote.
Yeah. I mean, so what? I mean, can you imagine? He's the one who
And we
addressed
have a
us.
minister.
We have a Minister of Petroleum. The Minister of Petroleum, and I'm not talking of Junior Minister, I'm talking of the Minister of Petroleum, is the person of the President of the
Mr.
Federal Republic of
No,
Nigeria.
Mr. President will not talk to
He
us.
should,
Okay,
he should
about
address us.
Senator
Heineken,
Lopobori.
he was invited to the committee in the House, and he got that. They said, okay, time to explain what you did with the money. He said they are not ready, that they need to adjourn. So everybody was like, wait, but we gave you notice that you have to come and defend and prove to us what happened to the 210 trillion naira. He said they're not ready, that they need some more time.
Government agencies, you dare not do all these sorts of things in private sector. Your boss tells
understand?
you to bring a report, you tell
Do
them they're not
you
ready.
understand? I mean, just to wrap things up from my end,
Yeah.
pretty much it's simply like saying whatever we're going through now is also as a result of the fact that the federal government needs to find a way to cushion this entire
They need to, because they can't leave us to the mercy of global prices.
The
It's
president of
unsustainable.
Philippines. The president of Philippines, what's that his name again?
Marcos.
Ferdinand Marcos
Jr.
has said going forward, people will go to work only 4 days in a week. He has removed Fridays. Nobody should work on Fridays. Do Monday to Thursday, go home. Is the
That's a
Nigerian
responsive government.
So now,
thinking?
as citizens as well, just to piggyback on what you said, beyond the government, we as citizens must also find a way to look out for each other, because what we realize is if the government will not take care of its citizens, citizens should try to look out for each other. Employers of labor, if your staff don't have to come to work every day, by all means, please don't have them come to work every day. We focus on presence over productivity in Nigeria. Now is the time to review that. Anything to make the quality of life of your staff better, manageable, because times are really hard. We've fallen on incredibly hard times. So the least we can do is ensure that they don't come to work as often. So long as their deliverables can be met from their homes, by all means, please let them work from home. So the little ways in which we can ensure that we do not try to make life harder, because what we find is oftentimes Nigerians will capitalize on slight changes. Everybody's increasing their price at sporadic rates, and even when the prices start dropping, we don't see that same speed reflected in the stores, in the the supermarkets. Like Joe would say, Nigeria's problem.
Yes, sir.
But
I mean, it's really, really sad. And I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll conduct this, my work via WhatsApp.
WhatsApp video call.
I want to go and fry egg now.
We should be presenting the show from our houses.
Yes, remote work.
I mean, the pandemic.
But
Yeah,
my final thoughts on this is the elephant in the room, the big elephant, the giant elephant in the room. Why this started in the first place. Very avoidable.
Yeah.
Benjamin Netanyahu says Iran there's been an imminent threat for them to declare, to own bombs. 2 weeks ago, for the last 40 years, there's been 7 American presidents that Benjamin Netanyahu has been trying to influence to bomb Iran. Donald Trump was the only one weak enough to take the bait, and look at what he's turned the entire world to. No one is happy. Look at the GCC countries. And unfortunately, we have to pay for it. So the Americans should be more responsible in their actions. You can't just go regime change, killing people, and acting like the world police. We're feeling the effects here.
President Trump put out a statement to Benga yesterday.
Temporary pain.
He said he's giving
long-term gain.
He's giving Iran time that if they block
the Strait of
Hormuz, they're going to see what they've never seen before.
Okay, let him.
So he just made that statement like a few hours ago.
I mean, America has never had a president like him before. He made up. He's very unpresidential and unhinged. How do you say that the Iranians got a Tomahawk missile from somewhere and then bombed their own school, killed 160 plus girls? And a reporter asked him yesterday, that President Trump, do you have any evidence or facts today? He said, I made it up. I made it up.
Are you serious?
I mean, that's not presidential.
Anyway.
We're entering uncharted territories. Yeah. And it's not a video game. There are real life implications to what they're doing. And people are dying every day. 165?
I remember the Chibok girls and how the world screamed. 165, the world still in silence. Is it because it's the United States of America? And then the other one was a country in Nigeria, in Africa called Nigeria. Well, quite
the one thing we must, to wrap things up here is to say that, like we have said, it's really dark times. We're falling into, and we are not immune from it, as you can see. For those who are not yet aware, by the time you head out, you will see the cost of fuel. My tank yesterday was just a little below empty. As soon as I heard the numbers had increased, I asked my driver to fill it up. Guess how much it cost me?
100.
Fill it up. No, 45,000 for something that better. You know how when it moves just below F, just below F. For me to fill it back.
Just below F to F.
Yes.
45,000.
45,000.
That's massive.
45,200.
I knew that you are low.
My dear.
I mean, I called a friend.
May the Lord be with you.
Said yesterday he spent 120.
Anyway.
And then people
this is dramatic reality.
Cars and generator.
Yes.
Cars and generator.
Because electricity is bad. And they've sent a message, EKEDC, I believe has sent a message that there will be a downtime for 3 days. And the heat is, let's not even talk about the heat.
There's always a downtime.
I need to post that video of Speed Darlington using hand fan to fan himself, because all of us are suffering.
Why is EKEDC?
All of us are suffering.
Sending that message. They always have downtime now.
And nobody.
Water is wet.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, let's move to our next story.
While Nigerians are crying.
Exactly. This one is political drama that is happening.
Which is the biggest.
In a dramatic political shift, the governor of Zamfara state, Dauda Lawal, has dumped the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and moved to the All Progressives Congress, APC. The announcement followed a stakeholders meeting at the government house in Gusau, where the Deputy Governor, Mani Mumuni, and the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Nakwada, confirmed the development, saying the decision came after extensive consultation with political leaders and supporters across the state. According to them, the governor cited the prolonged internal crisis and leadership disagreements within the PDP as key reasons for his defection, stressing the need to align with a political platform that offers greater stability and stronger collaboration with the federal government. The development is particularly notable as Lawal had earlier alleged that governors who joined the APC were being offered about 500 million naira in local government funds, insisting at the time that he had yet to receive any such support. So the question is, did he or did he not receive that money as well, now that he has joined the APC's alleged 500 million naira in funds. But let's take a look at the video. We'll come back to share our thoughts. But you can head on to YouTube where we're streaming live. We'll take comments on YouTube before we head to X. What are your thoughts about the Zamfara governor and the deputy governor announcing their defection from PDP to APC? Let's take a look at this video.
Okay, that's the governor and his deputy.
And I must commend them, honestly, for being this patient and waiting this long. Looking at how long the PDP crisis...
Did you see the APC put out? Did you see their tweet?
As played out. No.
APC put out a tweet. I don't know if we have that tweet. They put out a tweet and said 31/36. Okay. So 31 governors in the bag. How many more to go? You have 5 more.
So 5 more to go. Before it was 30 governors.
1 PDP, 2 PDP, I think 1 Abga, 1. So they're still waiting on Labour Party. And that's it. They said 31/36. My worry is this same governor said that he has noticed and he knows where the bandits are during the attack, you know, in Zamfara. He said, remember when he said he has them on his phone? He can see them when they are moving. He knows where they are going to and so on and so forth. But the question now is, while he was saying that, he said that he can't really do anything
without the help of the federal government.
Help at the federal government. I'm trying to understand this. Are you saying that until you move to the APC, that's when you get the support of the federal government to help fight banditry in your state? That's question one that journalists would love to ask. Secondly, Olive, you also mentioned that he heard that people are getting paid once you move to the APC.
So that we don't misquote him. What he said was that, I know of, this was after the removal of subsidy.
Okay.
Where he said, I know of states that have received from over 500 billion naira from the federal government as palliative, but I have never received anything. And then he went on to suggest that the reason was political. The reason that a number of them were given and he wasn't given was because he's a member of the People's Democratic Party. Now, the one argument that we often hear, the argument we often hear put forward by a number of these governors when they're moving is that they need to align themselves with the center.
With the center.
So what does aligning yourself with the center mean, and what is the implication of that? I think the bigger picture and the bigger concern for Nigerians here is if we have 31 governors out of 36 governors aligned to one political party, not necessarily because they believe so much in the political party, contrary to what they may claim, but because there's some politicking happening behind the scenes that we're not a part of. It tells us that we're actually in trouble, and the trouble is that there isn't any opposition voice. There is a reason why there are principles like principles of checks and balances, so that different arms of government can check the other arms of government, separation of powers. And the role of opposition is very important in ensuring that we have a stable democracy. If everybody around you is a yes man, yes man, yes man, then nobody's around you to tell the truth. There's no one to hold them to account because everybody is going to be wearing infinity cap and excited about the policies that the government is rolling out. And who suffers it? Nigerian citizens.
So Nigerians should get ready. And I just want to also mention, when they say align with the center, I want to ask a question. There have been killings in the past few days in Borno State.
Zamfara State, his HQ of banditry.
I hope that he will come and give us an update. Just sorry to interrupt, because this is the same governor some time back, I think some months back, that told us that looking
I
at his
just said
phone,
that.
he
Yes.
knows where
He
these
knows
bandits
where
are. He knows when they are moving.
That's what Joe
Yes, that's what he knows where they are hiding. So I'm hoping that maybe
now that they've
now that they
aligned,
align with the center now,
We
they
get
will send the military
yeah.
down. But Borno State is an example I want to use. Borno State has been facing it tough. We heard lieutenant generals and so on have been killed. We've seen
lieutenants
rather. We've seen RIPs and so on online. People are saying what's going on. We've heard that they've attacked, you know, security posts and so on. However, I want to ask a question. The Borno State governor is a member of the APC. He has, in a word, what's that word? He has aligned with the center. Since. But why have they not stopped the insecurity?
So does this alignment really work? What benefits does it bring to the people? But it's a deja vu feeling. We've been here before. In the height of the PDP in 2007, they had 31 over 36.
We'll be here when it becomes 36 over 36.
So
when it becomes either 35 over 36 or 36 over 36, we'll come back to talk about it.
This might be the last one.
You think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I can never put anything past our government.
It's politics. You don't always trust anything.
Alex Otti is ready to...
Alex Otti, he was visited by the chief of staff.
A Labour Party till 2027.
No, he was visited by the chief. They shook hands, and there are rumors that he's going to be the next because the Labour Party is also having some small internal fracas, even though all of that has happened. But
all right, we'll connect to Umar Kira, but I need to take one comment from YouTube. Lenny Query says, Nigeria is such a joke. APC 31 over 36. One would think they were referring to the number of states with steady electricity. Oh! Even Iran, with all the airstrikes, still have electricity. This country, Sha, it touched me.
It pain.
It touched me.
It is bitter.
The thing is, 31 over 36, is there light? Is there security? Is there fuel?
So what's the quality of life of the citizens?
Chuka Ochiama said one-party system under an acclaimed Democrat, Tinubu. So sad the very way Wike and his backers in power have eliminated the PDP. How I wish votes count and matters in Nigeria.
But let's also mention that while we're talking about this, there has been a serious security breach and crisis in Borno State. The people of Borno are crying out loud. The governor, in a statement yesterday, said that Christians and Muslims should gather around and pray so that banditry will stop. We do have our correspondent who is there, and he is going to join us right now to give us an update on what is happening in Borno State, where the insecurity has become something chaotic. Omaru Kirawa joins us this morning all the way from Borno. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here this morning.
Yes.
All right. So much, you know, updates, killings, soldiers, people kidnapped, and it seems like it's continued all through the day from the weekend up until we hear yesterday. Can you confirm to us what has been happening so far so good in Borno State when it comes to insurgency?
Well, simply put, it's a resurgence of the attacks by the terrorists in Borno State and other parts of the Lake Chad. It's a common knowledge that the insurgency, which you align it to group like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and of course their name that they prefer, Jamaat al-Ahli Sunnah Lidawati wal Jihad, has been devastating or been problematic to Borno State and the larger Northeast region, particularly due to several factors, which we see the attacks on military bases in recent days. Particularly, they are targeting the leadership of the security forces in the different locations across Kondoga, across Mainti in Banki, across Kukawa, in Kukawa local government area of Borno State, which has led to the death of several officers and, of course, soldiers, and the kidnapping or abduction of over 300 families in Ngoshe. So basically, these are the things that is happening right now. And unfortunately, these terrorists are also using technology. just like people use technology. It's unfortunate that they use technology and they release videos and they give updates of their atrocities and what they are doing, the killings, and of course they carted away equipment, military equipment. They killed so many people. I mean, it's so sad that we are seeing the resurgence of this insurgents attacks, and even some of them coming out saying they will rename the name of some communities.
Umaru Kirawa, would like you to just pause a little. So for, I'm trying to be careful using that word, but for context, we would like our viewers to watch that video where they gathered. You did talk about them using media aids. They now have a media team where they record, they carry out everything, but let's just watch this.
Yau 16 ga watan tara shekara 1447 mu ne jama'atu da sunna lidawati wal jihad wannan mai da jagorancin Imam Abu Ubayma hafizahullah wa ra'ahu wanda yake jagorantar anan a dusa kuma shine Mala Ali kenan. To yau gashi alhamdulillah suna cika baki suna ce ba mu san me komai ba mu san karba goshi ba gashi yau Allah ya kawo mu cikin goshe insha Allah za mu canja mata suna mu zo mu yi in Allah ya yarda sallan Idi a goshe za mu yi ba baya za mu ba gaba za mu yi insha Allah ta'ala ba za mu yi baya ba gaba za mu yi Allah yarda wannan goshe ne kowa ya sani masallacin juma'a na goshe kowa ya gani abakar hari ya yi Idi da ciki insha Allah mu ne za mu yi Idi da ciki mun yayyanka su ga kai nasu na tabutar su mun yayyanka ga mata da yara mun zama da su bayi Allah ne ya fara mana mun zama da su bayi gashi mun kama su bir insha Allah ta'ala ba ma Maiduguri ba har Abuja Allah sai ya kai al'ana ja'a al-qital wala tayin wala tahzanu bi kawzami barami bakin ci barami kaskanci wajen neman su ba ko ina zamu je sai mun je mun neme su insha Allah tabutan Najeriya watanni bayan da su wuce mun yi barazana da kan nan to gashi nan ga kan tabutan Najeriya azbe daular musulunci kowa ya gani yau da goshe gashi muna cikin goshe insha Allah.
That's a sad one. Bing, I don't know if you wanted to...
I mean, Umaru Kirawa, my question is, what's the response? Because, I mean, since the administration of Professor Babagana Zulum is one governor that's been very hands-on and passionate about securing the lives of his people. But time after time, we see these security breaches, and it's terrible. I can imagine what the people of Borno State are going through. What has been the response of the leaders of Operation Hadinkai, the Joint Task Force, and also has there been any statements put out from official statements from the governor on this resurgence and spike we're seeing in violent incidents in Borno State?
Well, it's quite to note that even before the statement by the state government, we saw an action. And I mean, we were there in the community. We went there with the governor alongside the members of the Operation Hadinkai and paramilitary, the civilian JTF hunters and vigilantes. We went to Pulka town where the displaced persons of Ngoshe community are taking refuge, where the governor sympathized with the families and, of course, provided some immediate short-term food and non-food items to the families, telling them that this is something that has happened. It has been predestined that it will happen, but the security forces will address it amicably. And we saw the security forces moving to Ngoshe town with the aim of taking over the community and dealing with the terrorists, since they vowed to ensure the takeover of the community, and they said they will ensure they observe the Eid prayer, which is coming in days after the Ramadan fast. This is what we saw. But both natural, the conflict or the crisis is a multidimensional one. It's beyond the normal military action, so to speak. That's what experts are saying, because it has different dimension to it. There is a political, there is economic, there is regional, there is different dimension to the conflict, which requires those different dimensions to be tackled amicably. In fact, some people are saying the issue of Nigeria and ensuring that it has a good relationship with its neighbors, the time is now. It's time to ensure that the federal government and, of course, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ensures that the relationship between Nigeria and Niger, Cameroon, and Chad are revived so that the borders will be ensured safe. That is the first step. If the borders are safe and different countries across the Lake Chad, including the Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, engage in continuous patrol, that will help in terms of ensuring safety of the border so that influx of more terrorists or influx of these antisocial elements will not be ensured, and then they will be tackled amicably. Others are also advocating the need for strengthen military support and enhance usage of technology. Since these people are using TikTok, they are using Facebook to release updates, to give out videos, to give out update of what is happening. It will shock you to know that the videos of the abducted families have been released. They have released the video. And in fact, the chief imam of Ngoshe, which many are saying it's dead, and many media houses reported that it's dead, they have released the video of the man saying he's not dead and he is alive, he is with them, alongside with many other families. So these are things that require a multidimensional approach, and of course, the intelligence gathering should be enhanced. And not only the intelligence gathering, but action after the intelligence is very important.
All right.
And
all right. Omar Kerawa, you really, I mean, it's great. Thank you, first of all, for taking us through this. And I can't imagine what it feels like to experience this firsthand and what the mood is like in Borno. We, from across the side, there's a feeling of helplessness that we feel when we see these videos, and it's really, really sad. But thank you so much for joining us and, you know, setting the stage for what is our next conversation. We're going to be still looking at state of insecurity, videos being released, social media being used to talk about people who have been kidnapped. And in this case, it's a young man called Abba, who's a National Youth Service Corps member, kidnapped during Ramadan, and his family is being asked for 5 million naira ransom. To help us examine the implications of this case and the wider issue of insecurity in Nigeria, we're joined by activist English Alhaji. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, ma, and good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you for being here with us. Can you talk to us about, you know, Abba's abduction and the circumstances surrounding the incident?
The thing there is that I heard you said 5 million. It's not 5 million. The ransom they demanded, they started with 50 million naira. So we had to negotiate. So we started the bidding, and they finally agreed that we should come with 10 million naira. So, and yeah, we came on social media, we did the fundraising, the video is everywhere. Nigerians showed support, like everybody. They went out of their will. The, you know, fundraising is something I don't want to do. Like, I don't support it in any day, because it's like you giving them a more grant for them to, you know, opening doors for other people to, like, yeah, go for it. But in this case, we are helpless. The case was with the DSS, but they couldn't do anything. So as a concerned Nigeria, we took it upon ourselves, and we did a fundraising, which we realized the money, because it's not just Abba. It's not just Abba. It's Abba. I don't know if you guys have seen the other video of Miriam, a lady who was also kidnapped, and the other one, Yeshima. So 3 of them. We did a fundraising for Abba. We got 10 million for Abba. The other lady, they said 10 million, but we went into bid and they like, okay, we should bring 7 million. So which we all agreed. We assembled the money. We took the money to them. The 10 million and the 7 million. So after we gave them the money, the next thing they asked us to go, that they're going to bring Abba and the lady to us. Lo and behold, they changed. And the next thing, they're asking us to bring 3 motorcycles for Abba and the 3 million naira for the girl.
Okay.
So at this point, we were like, no, this is not the agreement we had. We said, you guys gave us your word that if we give you this money, you're going to give us Abba. So now we're giving you money for Abba and money for Miriam and Yeshima. And you guys are saying we should bring extra 3 million for Miriam and 3 more motorcycles for Abba. And the funniest thing is that the most angry part of it now is that these people are coming out on social media to even post the money we gave them. That's one alone is getting me very angry. The person that received the money came on social media to post it. Like, honestly, I'm so, oh my God, I don't even want to just go into those details, but for now,
there's a feeling
I'm just down.
There's a feeling of hopelessness. You know, young Nigerians just going about their lives are kidnapped, and the saddest part is law enforcement, which security takes the largest chunk of our budget, and absolutely nothing in 2026 can be done to retrieve these people. You see videos of special forces training, you know, they show all these fancy videos. What are they there for? We have telecommunications companies that can track your location to the nearest 5 meters. And it's sad that, you know, your interaction with the DSS law enforcement is so lackadaisical that Nigerians have to crowdfund ransom payment to these kidnappers, therefore, you know, making it an industry, making it very profitable. It's hopeless. So my question to you is, what did law enforcement tell you when you told them about this, when you presented evidence of these bandits on TikTok and social media? What response did you get?
They told us that, okay, they're going to see what they can do about it. That has been their response ever since. The DSS in Gusau, they said they're going to see what they can do about it. We said, okay, cool. Because this guy, the video is circulating and the numbers are still active. When you call Miriam, if you call Miriam, I got her number, I got the number of Yeshima. When you call them, the bandits will pick. They will pick. They pick the cause of these people. And you're gonna hear, like the next thing they give the phone to the girl, you hear the girl crying and begging. I don't want to, please help me. I don't want to be unalived by these people. Please help me. And the cry alone from these people is gonna break you, no matter how strong you are. Like, I'm just trying to be strong, like for my own self. I've been trying to be, because seriously, like, I don't know the state of the state of mind my head is right now.
You're taking in a lot.
So you go to the DSS, you report a case of this nature to the DSS, and you're expecting the DSS to swing into action immediately, because these people can be traceable. They can be traceable. The place where these people are, I can tell you for free, that there is a military checkpoint before where these people are, and after where these people are. Like, you get to Gidan Kano. Before you get to Gidan Kano, there's a military checkpoint there. And there's a military checkpoint after the Gidan Kano. And this is where these people are.
Okay.
So I don't want to believe that these people cannot be traced. There's a military checkpoint there. You can stand in that military checkpoint. When you stand there, you're going to see this forest. You're going to see them there. These guys established 3 gates. They established 3 gates there. When you come to the first gate, they search you thoroughly to make sure that you don't have anything on you. You get to the second gate, they search you again to make sure that you don't have anything on. Before you get to the third gate. And when you see these people, you think that they are Nigerian army. They are fully dressed with everything. Like, I don't understand what's going on in this country right now, because you can't tell me that these guys are far away from us. They are within, they are here. They are on social media. They are using social media. One of them had to confirm. They told the lady that went to give them the money that they know me. They know me, they monitor me, they're after me. So as it stands now, I'm not safe in this country. Like, my life, it's been like, they said it pump and playing. And you have the DSS, you have the most annoying part is that checkpoint. I don't know what that checkpoint is doing there. You can't tell me that you have a checkpoint before these guys, and you still have a checkpoint after these guys, and these guys cannot be tracked. Go to Gidan Kano in Gus. It's there. Everybody knows this place I'm talking about. This is where these people are. They are in Gidan Kano there. That's where the video came out from. The video came out from Gidan Kano. Mariam is there. Abba is there. Yeshima is there. I spoke with these people day before yesterday, 3:45 a.m. in the morning. The girl was crying. I said, what about Abba? He said, Abba is fine. Abba, she was crying that every morning.
Okay,
so sorry,
let's just do this. I mean, for the benefit of those who are just joining and don't really understand what's going on, let's quickly tell the viewers that a youth copper was kidnapped, as it were, by bandits. And the guest who's joined us has been one who has been calling for help, galvanizing, talking to the security operatives, and has followed closely, even raising money to ensure that they are released. We're going to play a video for you because initially, while Abba was kidnapped, after a period of time, many thought he had died, until a new video resurfaced that showed him speaking and calling on Nigerians for help. Let's take a look at that video. And then another video emerged yesterday on X showing the bandits who had collected the 10 million naira ransom. He came online and posted that video. There you have it. And he made it, and quickly others who had also ensured that initiated the move to pay that money said, oh, we know this guy. This is the guy who collected the money from us. He was well kitted. How come he's online and putting this the money online and showing it to us as well? There is a video actually that shows him with the Ghana must go with that money as well. But let's watch this one first, where Abba resurfaced and made another video to quell the rumor or the fear that he has been unalived.
Barka da safiya, fatan kowa ya tashi lafiya. Sunana Musa Usman, wanda aka yi dan uwana na yada jita-jitan cewa na rasu, suna cewa na rasu har an yi min sallama. To alhamdulillah ina rayi yau 19 ga watan azumi.
We'll come back to share with you the video of the bandits, brandishing the money on social media. This has been a really heartbreaking situation. And I mean, I can see how it's affected you. And sometimes, for us, it's really hard because we don't even know what to do. There's a sense of hopelessness. How are their families dealing with this?
For the families, they are just down. The family of Abba did a funeral prayer. I don't know if you guys are aware.
Yes.
They did a funeral prayer for Abba, which, according to them, they said it's a way of Islam. Like if your person is kidnapped or gets missing, so you can give the person number of days or weeks or months. So if he does.
Okay.
Hello, English. Are you there?
All right.
Well, the video you see there on the screen, we must first of all apologize. It's a video that's very distressing. That's Abba, the youth copper, where he was begging for his life, and the bandits were seen stomping on him aggressively, flogging him at will, anywhere, anyhow, telling him to ensure that he gets the money and the money is delivered to them. The update right now with our guest who joined us, just for clarity, is that they were able to raise that 10 million naira and they were able to take it to them. He also mentioned that there are 2 checkpoints, military checkpoints, before you get to that area.
Before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before and after.
Yes, you mentioned before and after.
Yes.
Before that slight disconnection, English Alhaji, you were speaking to us about how their families are dealing with it, and you said that Abba's family already conducted a funeral for him.
Yeah, they conducted the funeral already, and after the funeral, so a voice note was released from the kidnapper. They released a voice note that Abba is still alive, but the family refused to accept it. They said no, that Abba is not alive, he's gone, because we cut communication with them. There was a time we tried to reach them, they changed every contact, every connection to them, they disconnected it. So they sent out that voice note. The family refused to accept it before we now told Abba if he's alive, he should come up and do this video, giving us the date and everything, which he did. So the family were like, Okay, yeah, it's not been easy for them. The family, it's not been easy at all for them. The family of Miriam, the other lady, the father was hospitalized day before yesterday for BP. Like, you can imagine how tough it is. Me personally, I had to take my money to send. I sent him money from my own pocket. I sent him money because he told me that it's not been easy for him. He sold everything he has to meet up to this bandit demand, and they refused to release his daughter. So he was hospitalized and no money to pay hospital bill. So I sent him money from my own pocket. So it's not been easy for both family. The family of Abba is not been easy there. It's just, they're just hoping and wishing that the family, that their son come back home. And right now, the new demand is they have dropped down from 3 motorcycles to 2 motorcycles. So they say they want 2 bikes right now. So yesterday, we met up yesterday with the family, and we said, okay, since they are now saying they want 2 bikes, so how are we going to do about it? They don't have anything with them. They have nothing on them. So we are also, and fundraising is not something I want to do, but there's no, like, I don't know, my hands are tied. These guys are not releasing this guy. They are not releasing the other lady. So for me, we had to say, since the only way to get Abba out of that place is getting them 2 bikes, and we want them to give us their word that if we give them these 2 bikes that they are demanding, they're going to give us Abba. They promised us, yes, they are going to give us Abba if we give them these 2 bikes.
So the 2 bikes, just to clarify, is the 2 bikes for Abba alone, or is for Abba and Miriam?
No, the 2 bikes is for Abba. The other lady, Miriam and Yeshima, their own is 3 million naira. They say we should bring 3 million naira extra.
I mean,
so the 2 bikes is for Abba. Then the 3 million naira is for Miriam and Yeshima. And we don't want I don't want a situation whereby we will get Abba out and Miriam and Yeshima will be there. So we are trying to make sure that we pull that is all of them out from that place. So although we are seeking for support, and yesterday we started a fundraising yesterday also to get the money for the bikes. We understand that each bike will cost 2 million naira. 2 million naira for each bike. So we are looking at 4 million naira for Abba's camp, then 3 million naira from Miriam's camp. That's the situation right now.
Very sad. Very sad.
There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. The security operative cannot help us. So what do? We help ourselves out. I mean,
this is an indictment on the Nigerian state, because this, I mean, we saw the video of the bandit brandishing the monies they've received as ransom payments. It's heartbreaking, and this sort of things only happen when there's a total collapse of authority and state. My final question to you, English, is when are we now? You talked about the request for the bikes, but what was your last communication, and is there any assurance that these people, that Yeshima, Miriam and Abba are still alive? What was your last communication with the camp?
Sorry? My last communication with the camp, that they are still alive?
Yes.
Yes, they are all alive. Yesterday morning, we spoke with Miriam. Yesterday morning.
Okay. All right. So they're still alive. You're currently at the point of fundraising, looking for 7 million to get Yeshima, Miriam, and Abba out. I think my final question will be to you. Your face is out there. You've heard that you're a target. Are you not afraid? How do you feel? How are you?
It's not been easy at all. Like, not just from my own side. My families have been so worried, and like, it's not been easy at all. It's not been easy because when I got the information after the money was sent to them, the mother of Miriam and the stepmom, they were the one that told me that the receiver of that money said they know how much I raised from that money. That was why they upgraded it from 7 to 10, and they know me very well, and my face is out there, and I'm their next target, according to the woman. So I was like, okay, but it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. I've given my life for this cause, and this is the path I choose. So that's it. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared to do what I'm doing. I'm just doing it for, like, yeah, this is my path. This is my destiny. So all I do is for the betterment of, I want the betterment of this country. I want the best. I want the best for this country. I want a country where I will not be scared to go out. I want the country where every one of us will live in peace and harmony. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not even scared of their threat and every other thing. I just want these people to come back home. That's all I want right now. I want Abba and Miriam and Yeshima to come back home. Okay. That's all I want right now.
All right, Abba. Yeah. All right, English, thank you so much for all you've done. And we do hope that we'll hear positive feedback. And we know that Nigerians are watching. What we have to do this as well is to hope that those at the top in charge of the security affairs of the country will also take action and also take note. But we do hope that they get released. Yeshima, Miriam, and Abba will be freed anytime soon. But thank you so much for the good job you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just to quickly add to what you've said, it's not just praying that that they get free, but also that these people will be apprehended, because the confidence of a person to post their face, they're not even wearing masks. Back in the day, they would mask their face. Now they don't mask their face anymore. It's like, this is me, do your worst. And it's like there's no fear that they'll be apprehended.
Describe their camp that's almost fortified, the level of equipment they have. Is it that with drones, the technology we have, we're not talking of some remote place. These people interact, they pass through checkpoints. It's such a huge indictment on Nigerian security operations.
Anyway, if you're watching Breakfast Central, it's been a full 1 hour of nothing more than detailed information and sad story, starting off from the fuel price hike and how Nigerians will have to deal with it. A conversation we're still going to have in the course of the program. We have our reporters joining us soon. And then also we talked about the Borno crisis, the death toll increasing, and our reporter also confirming that. And the final one, you just saw it, the kidnapped victims who haven't gained freedom yet. But stay with us. We have more here on Breakfast Central. Let's tell you what's coming up next this morning. This morning on Breakfast Central, let's tell you that Dangote Refinery raises petrol to 1,175 per litre, and you will know how it affects you. Petrol predicts that it may get to 2,000 naira, so brace up. And we'll talk about Labour Party as they unveil a registration portal and much more. Stay with us.
Owners Association of Nigeria, Petrol, has warned that petrol prices could skyrocket to 2,000 naira per litre as the Middle East war rages on. Diesel may even hit 3,000 naira per litre, especially with global oil prices fluctuating between $100 and now $85 per barrel. The national president of Petrol, Billy Gills-Harry, issued the warning while delivering a keynote address titled Deconstructing Energy Trilemma at an event organized by Ignatius Ajuri University of Education in Port Harcourt.
He cautioned that continued increases in fuel prices could worsen inflation, trigger job losses, deepen economic hardship, and significantly raise transportation costs, as well as the prices of goods and services nationwide. This is not just about fuel, but about inflation, jobs, and survival of the average Nigerian citizen who's wondering just about how they will cope at a time like this. Joining us for this discussion are the National President of Petrol, Dr. Billy Gills-Harry. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, we have one more guest
for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We have one more guest who will be joining us much later. But Dr. Gills-Harry, let's talk about this. You have warned that petrol could hit 2,000 naira per litre if this Middle East war persists. The Nigerians are already struggling. But the average Nigerian wonders, how am I in my house? And the US-Israel-Iran war is affecting me. So can you first of all walk us through the relationship and how this impacts the petroleum sector and, price of petrol in Nigeria?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And let me just do a slight correction. My name is Billy Gillis Harry. And I want to thank you for having me on your show this morning. The correlation is not far-fetched. Crude oil is an internationally traded commodity, and whatever affects it internationally impacts everywhere. And I'm going to start you from the US right now, that's far away from the conflict and also an actor. But the citizens are already having an impact on the price of fuel. The premium motor spirit that was selling about $3 I would just call it 8 days ago, is today selling almost $6 per gallon. So that tells you how impactful this war is. In Nigeria, it's the same thing. We have one effective refinery that is giving us refined products. And that refinery will also have replacement, drive, for assets that needs to be always in stock, which is the crude oil. And crude oil is denominated in international price and value and dollar, as you know. Even though we are buying, the refineries in Nigeria are buying the crude for Naira, which is a very brilliant policy that the president, had put in place and is working very well. At least what that has done is saving us a lot of forex that should have created much more problem for Nigeria. So the reason why this war is affecting you in your home or in your car or in your office is simply because the feedstock that is required is internationally traded. And once there's volatility in there, it will impact negatively on the price and value in Nigeria.
NNPC to activate local refineries. How realistic is this, knowing that those refineries have been moribund for quite some time and billions have been spent in turnaround maintenance, and still they remain in the same comatose state? Why has Nigeria remained so vulnerable to external shocks despite decades of promises? Is it a failure of leadership or policy?
That's why, as a responsible organization, we watch to see the trend of events, and we do the much we can to call attention to where attention is needed and to encourage where a little bit more speed, much more speed actually is needed. The Nigerian local refineries owned by NNPC are very critical assets of this country. And it's extremely important that we start paying attention to them properly. We spend so much money on it and it's not working, but the refineries are not bad. First of all, we have the land asset, we have the technical and the equipment assets, and therefore we can always make it to work. And what Petrol is simply saying is, look, NNPC, you have these 4 refineries. Please pay attention to it and get them to work. There is no reason why they shouldn't work. If Dangote, one single individual, can rise up to the occasion of building a $20 billion refinery and is working, we don't see why the refineries owned by Nigerians cannot work. So that's just what we are saying, and it's realistic. It's possible that the refineries can be made to work.
I think what I wanted to ask again, you say it's possible. What will need to be put in place for the refineries to actually work? Because we've been talking about refineries working over and over again, spending billions, and it just feels that everything, it's like pouring water in a basket. What will need to be put in place for these refineries to actually work?
Well, first of all, we have recommended that the refinery should be fully privatized. There should be a public-private partnership process. And what we seem to hear is one day the process is going on, another day we don't hear anything. I mean, NNPC is a sovereign asset for all of us. So whatever that's being done there should not be shady. We should hear it, we should know it, we should applaud them when they're doing well, and we should also advise when what is expected to be done is not being done. So I don't want to, encourage Nigerians to discourage ourselves. We must have the courage to know that there is nothing we cannot achieve. And so there is no reason why, if private companies that have the competency and the financial muscle, partnering with the government, will not make those refineries to work. And in other clients, we have also offered, look, we have grassroots players. In the industry, there are grassroots players who have capacity, who have started businesses from ground zero to where they are. And so if they could succeed in their own little corner, they could do a crowd, value and make the refineries to still come back to life, because it's our property, it's our pride. We should be able to have these refineries working to make Nigeria cushion Nigeria from this kind of effects. Not necessarily that if all the refineries were working, price will not still be affected up or down, but at least we are more guaranteed if there is 2 or 3 more refineries working, that just in case there's one turnaround maintenance being done in this refinery, the other ones will continue to work.
Okay, Dr. Gillis Harry, there is this notion about fixing the refinery which you have proposed. If not, we're going to get to 2,000 naira per litre. And truly, we do not know where the world is going currently, because anything can happen. Another war could spring up after this, which eventually would also affect the prices of oil. But Petrol is well aware of, my next 2 questions is coming from the questions every Nigerian is also asking, every concerned Nigerian is asking. Petrol was aware when the Port Harcourt refinery was rehabilitated, was also reopened in 2024 to the celebration and to the pomp and pageantry of every single person in the oil and gas sector, celebrating that finally we now have a PH refinery. The PH is working. And all of a sudden, it seems like we've gone back to a state of comatose. It's no longer operational. Also, you're aware of the 210 trillion naira that the House of Assembly is trying to get from the former GM MD of NNPCL. Can Petrol also share with us, what are you doing as a body to ensure accountability is met to benefit not just Nigerians, but of course, every single individual who does business in Nigeria? How do you ensure that accountability is met with these 2 scenarios? Port Harcourt refinery opens.
Well, let me appeal that you have to let me go. You have to let me go now, but let me just try to answer this in just 1 minute.
Okay.
Petrol will always look out for the best for Nigeria, and will certainly continue to encourage every facet of Nigeria that can give Nigerians a better life. And when we saw what was happening in the refinery, we applauded it. But we are not the managers. We are not there technically to do a day-to-day management. And if NNPC themselves came out and said, oh, the refineries are working, but they are not commercially viable, there's nothing Petrol can do. We can only continue to interrogate, continue to ask questions, and continue to advise. And that's what we're doing. As for this 210 trillion, we are studying it, our team is studying it, and also to know what we can do. If maybe we also go to the National Assembly to make our own inputs, because most of us are very conversant with the matter. And we think that maybe 1 or 2 inputs we'll make can also help in building the values that we need to build. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having a more robust conversation next time when you join us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, let's move away now to another story and tell you that the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has decorated newly promoted Deputy Inspectors General of Police, marking what authorities describe as a significant step in stabilizing the leadership structure of the police. The IGP during the decoration ceremony says that their elevation to the strategic rank recognizes their years of service, professionalism and commitment to national security. Among those decorated are Zachariah Achenya. You also have Zango Baba, Ishaku Mohammed, Margaret Chala, Mohammed Sulaiman, Kenechuku Owumelie, also Fayode Adeguki and Umar Nadada. Let's just take a look.
Security Administration. The security environment in which we operate continues to evolve in complexity. from organized crime and cyber-enabled threats to violent criminal networks and emerging security challenges. The expectations placed on the Nigerian police force have never been greater. It is therefore imperative that our leadership remains forward-looking, strategic, and firmly committed to professionalism and operational excellence. The responsibilities that come with this rank require courage in decision-making, fairness in leadership, and unwavering commitment to the rule of law. I therefore urge you to see this elevation not only as a recognition of your past service, but as a renewed call to national duty. Lead with honor, serve with integrity, and continue to work collectively towards building a Nigerian police force that is respected, trusted, and capable of meeting the security aspiration of our nation.
And that is the update regarding that, and we hope to see that these crowning would ensure that there will be heightened securities, a heightened sense of security, not just a sense, but actual security. But now we'll be connecting with our correspondents who are joining us from different parts of the country to bring updates regarding the state of the fuel, as well as, you know, how much people are able to purchase it and the implications of this. We'll be joined by our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu. Good morning, Emmanuel. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
All right. First of all, let's talk about the state of the attacks. But before we get into the attacks, very quickly, the fuel scarcity, has it gotten, you know, to you where you are? Have there been queues? Have there been increased prices? And how are people faring?
Yes, of course, it's coming as a strange development for most of them. Of course, it's a Ramadan season, and it's really biting hard on them because the northern part of the part of this country is actually dominated by Muslims who are actually, going through the Ramadan fast, and for them to go out, to buy food in the evening and all that, put their families together, the breaking of fast, the iftar ritual. I mean, they are claiming that this is really, really biting hard of them coming at this very, very holy month. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that. Really, really sad that we've been following the updates about the fuel scarcity and, the pricing especially, and how that's hard hitting on Nigerians. But now let's talk about the pink elephant in the room, the state of insecurity. We hear that 6 local governments are now in control by non-state armed groups, or rather bandits. How true is this?
Yes, it's very true. In fact, it could have been 7 or 8. If not that, they have to skip some local governments. When you come in from the city center, you will discover that it starts with Kajuru, then start with Chikun, followed by Kajuru, then Kachia, then Kagurku, if you are going to the FCT. Then we are going to Plateau State, of course, Zangun Kataf. They skip Zangun Kataf. Probably people say they are afraid of the Minister of Defense, CG Musa, and then they are in Kaulu and Liri. So the board of contention and the motivation there is the fact that ginger farmers, talking about the huge yields and harvest of ginger, has enriched a lot of farmers in the Kachia and the Kagurko and Kajuru region, where these bandits, wake up in the morning and then they decide to, go on rampage, picking up these communities. As I speak, about 9 communities have been ransacked within Kajuru, Kachia, and Kagurko local government. And bandits have been operating within the axis, and they have, the Kaduna State government have been mute about it. And in fact, residents of Kateri are talking about between Chikun and Kagurko are now taking refuge behind the Kaduna State Refinery and Petrochemical Company, where they have some makeshift IDP camps. And these are very underreported cases, and they have not been exposed. And then the government feel that they're having a field in terms of security. Meanwhile, their so-called peace model is obviously failing. Yeah.
Now, Emmanuel, I'm glad you mentioned the Kaduna State government. Kaduna State, under Governor Obasani, has enjoyed relative peace up until this moment, where we have entire local governments being captured by terrorists. And it's quite unfortunate because Kaduna State is home to many military installations. You have the Command and Staff College, Jaji, you have Depot Nigerian Army, you have 81 Div, and Nigerian Defense Academy, and others. And to see this sort of impunity and collapse of security in the state is quite worrisome. What's the reaction of the state government and federal government to this? What are they doing, and what do you think is responsible? I know you mentioned the ginger famine, but is that the only factor responsible for this uptick in violent extremism in Kaduna State?
Yes, of course. The reaction of the state government has been, I would say, negative, because it's the government, the Kaduna State government have not really done anything about the situation. Despite the fact that the Ubasani, you remember in our Kurumi Wali video, admitted on national TV, on a live interview, that of course the terrorists are residing in the regional forest and in regional community. Regional community is a border community between the FCT and Kaduna State. And of course, if he has admitted that, it is expected that by now the federal forces, together with state forces, allied forces, would have surrounded that community and its history, because that is actually the camp. Even those terrorists that are being chased from the Sahel, they find their way, they cross into our communities, and then those communities within Kaduna, and then of course, Plateau State, they cross in, and of course Bauchi, they cross in and they come to Rijana and they settle down there. So the Kaduna State government have admitted that they are regional, but nobody have seen any massive operation in regional of recent. So, and then you just mentioned, of course, the huge military presence, of course, the huge military security presence, agencies, School of Artillery, the 1 Division, Naval School of Armament Technology, and all that, all in Kaduna State, and even the southern part of Kaduna. But you don't see any move. And it calls for a lot of attention, because it's really disturbing the people of Kaduna, especially those in the south. When you talk of 6 local governments, that's half of the southern Kaduna, because southern Kaduna has 12 local governments. Yeah.
So much for sharing these updates with us. Let's also look forward to see what the governor will do. These cases of insecurity are starting to become very worrisome, seeing it move from state to state, and it's not stopping, rather it's increasing. Emmanuel, we'll look forward to connect with you again shortly, or better still, in the subsequent programming, so you could share more details on that. Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, let's quickly mention that if you're one of those who possibly you're thinking of how you would go to work or how much you're going to spend very, very soon concerning the recent fuel prices, well, let's also share with you that here on News Central, we do care, and we're going to look at some options that you may likely start to think about. But before then, we have our guest who's joining us to discuss this. Earlier on, we spoke to Petrol, and then we heard what he said concerning the issue. And now we're also going to talk to an IPMAN representative, particularly the National Publicity Secretary. But that will be after we come back from the break. So do stay with us here on Breakfast Central. Welcome back. We're still looking at the impact of the Israel, United States and Iran war and how it has affected you, your pocket and your livelihood. We do hear, just like our previous interview with the Petrol boss, that fuel may rise up to 2,000 naira. So you're ready. But now we're joined by the National Publicity Secretary of IPMAN. We do have Mr. Chinedu Ukadike, who joins us. Good morning, and thank you for staying here and joining us as well. And we also have economists who's joining us as well to look at how the economy would have to find a way to absorb the shocker. Michael Famaroti also joins us as well. We'll be looking forward to have that conversation just now. But let's start off with IPMAN Publicity National Secretary, who's speaking with us this morning. Mr. Okadike, independent marketers are squeezed between rising depot prices and consumer backlash. Just yesterday, we saw the prices skyrocket. How is IPMAN, or how are IPMAN members managing this situation, and what would be the breaking point?
Well, this is not the first time. Good morning, Nigerians and viewers all over the world. This is not the first time this kind of issues has happened in this country. And we're still going back and front without serious planning, without reservoirs. The only fortunate thing that is going for us today is that we have a working refinery that is refining crude oil. If Dangote is not refining, it means that we'll be caught up with the war of Iran and the United States because of the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz. It means products in this country will be scarce, and people will be scrabbling for that. And once there is scarcity of product, profiteering will set in, and price increase will move into a galloping mode. So we, the independent marketers, we are the last man that breaks the bulk of the chains of distribution. It's very, very hectic for us, especially in terms of finances, because these are the products we can be able to purchase with maybe within 45 to 50 million naira. But this time around, 70-something million naira is now pursuing, even up to 80 million naira is now pursuing a truck of petroleum product. It's a really hard toll on us in terms of borrowing funds and logistics, and also moving these products from the wet areas to the dry area, which incur a lot of transportation, because everything is reflective. Both the diesel that the trucks use now are almost going high to almost 3 to 4 million naira for you to truck a product from the wet area to the dry area. So, and all this is also imputed in the pump price since there is deregulation. So I also believe that the federal government should try as much as possible to get a kind of a backup, a kind of a reservoir or a satellite depot where petroleum products will be reserved. I also know around 1999 to 2000, sometime in Port Harcourt, when I'm still in Port Harcourt Refinery Depot, where we have diesel reservoirs. NMPC have diesel in storage in case if there is this kind of issues, they can be able to fall back on those petroleum products and continue to sustain supply, pending the resumption of refining and also importing. So I think we are battling with the current price of crude oil in the international market now. That is where our problem lies. As far as the crude oil continues to gallop, price increase in Nigeria is imminent, especially when the determining factor of the sales of crude oil is determined by the international market.
The concern now is we're not certain what happens in the next few days or weeks. If this war continues, the Strait of Hormuz is still under pressure, the pump price of petrol keeps increasing. Is there any point, I know you've said that the logistics is also a key element, and you've said that the federal government should have depots, but what can be done, in the interim to ensure that we find a way to manage that? Because it's really scary for a number of us.
Yeah, I believe the economic expert that advises Mr. President should also have devised a means of subsidizing crude oil supply to Dangote, and also steady supply of crude oil in Naira. If that is done, it will not drastically affect inflation in Nigeria. You understand? It will not drastically affect inflation. This might be a kind of a temporal measure to be able to ensure that the inflation rate, domestic inflation rate, does not rise so much and becomes uncontrollable. So I believe the federal government has a lot to do. It's an emergency situation, actually. It is a war situation, and directly or indirectly, Nigeria is being affected in terms of its economic growth. So the federal government should, come in and come down to understand the plight of its citizens as with the independent marketers. Marketers who are no longer selling product the way we used to sell. Those who normally buy products like 50 liters now buy 10 liters and 5 liters. So the domestic activities and business is also going slow. And things are skyrocketing in the market, especially goods and services are skyrocketing and transportation is skyrocketing. So I believe that the Presidential Committee on Petroleum, who already advised Mr. President, should at least come up with a kind of a temporary measure
Thank you, Chief Ukadike. I would like to bring in our second guest into the conversation at this point, Michael Famarotti, an economist. He joins us live. Now, Michael, looking at what Chief Ukadike said, and it's a present reality, that we've started seeing rise in prices and things are going up. There are others that also feel, you know, this is good news for Nigeria because the budget was benchmarked on $65 per barrel and Nigeria has more foreign exchange earnings, so it's a blessing. In another way, what's your take on this? Is this really a blessing or a cause for concern?
So on paper, they're right? So there's two primary ways that higher oil prices sort of filter through to the Nigerian economy. The main one that we've been talking about, of course, is higher petrol pump prices and other petroleum products. But yeah, absolutely, in theory, higher oil prices, particularly when you consider that oil prices today are trading somewhere around $35 to $40 above the budget benchmark. That should be a boost to federal government revenues. However, I think the big flag there is it does take a very long time for that kind of effect to filter to the common man, if it actually does. So I think, just being frank, the reality is the negative effect of higher petrol prices definitely has a more immediate and visceral effect on the economy, and the purported gains from the fiscal situation, those tend to manifest much later, if they do manifest.
If they do manifest, but let's look at it from the economic aspect as well. If one would buy petrol for 1,250 naira per litre, it means that Nigerians would have to expect increase in transportation, increase in food items, retail shopping. Everything would be heavily impacted on, maybe not negatively, but whether they like it or not, they just have to face it, because that's the reality. My question to you, Mr. Michael, would be, quickly, if this continues, is it possible for the federal government to kind of like provide some form of maybe a cushion? Because we've seen countries take away one working day in the week and allowing 4 days. In Philippines, we've seen countries provide succor to some of their key staff. What do you think, as an economist, that the federal government can quickly jump into to provide Nigerians some form of maybe succor or rest or help?
Without giving rice.
Yeah, without giving rice. Without giving rice. Mr. Ukadike, I hope you got that too. Without giving rice, we need help.
Yes. So first of all, I'm very glad that you did not suggest a return to subsidy, right? Because that was one of the banes of our, I guess, energy market, right? So I do agree that if this persists, particularly for months to come, although I'm a bit more optimistic, I'm giving the narrative that President Trump has spun in the last 24 hours, I'm a bit more positive that perhaps markets will settle. I do still expect prices to hover above 80, comfortably above $80. But if this does persist for a few months, then it does become important for the federal government and the CBN, particularly on the monetary policy side, to have a rethink of its policy approach for this year, right? Because definitely we can expect much higher inflation, which then filters through to tighter monetary policy and possibly weakness in the exchange rates, which we are already seeing. So these are conditions that will need to be mitigated, because they were definitely not part of the plan for this year for policymakers.
So now the question is, you're talking about us not returning to subsidy. A number of the analysts we have on the show would say oftentimes that look forward to a time where our government can be proactive as opposed to being reactive. Is there anything the government could have done differently before now? I know you're not going to mention the non-removal of subsidy, but still speaking with you, Mr. Famorati, is there anything the government could have done to ensure that we would have been able to adjust better to the effects of the war, really?
Yes, definitely. I think one thing, and I think other energy stakeholders would probably say more about this, but the energy market, particularly the downstream space and the refinery space, the market structure is very fragile, right? So whilst we celebrate the fact that Nigeria now is refining and producing refined products, the fact that that still remains concentrated in one major supplier means that there is a natural tendency for bottlenecks to occur, right? So that is just one big reality. The second factor, of course, is supply of crude oil to the refinery, right? I think I was reading yesterday that the Dangote group claimed that they're only getting about 40% of what they need from the federal government. Again, it might be marginal, but it is sort of cheaper for them to source locally. So the fact that even though we produce over 1.6 million barrels and we are able to provide that, the fact that that isn't happening, again, is an indictment on our preparedness for this sort of situation.
Thank you very much. I'd like to bring Chief Kadike back into the conversation. Now, Chief, without the return to a subsidy regime, and if this goes on, I mean, I don't know how much Nigerians can take, but without the return to a subsidy regime, what would you, what low-hanging fruits are there, immediate gains that the federal government can use to, you know, try and offer succor to Nigerians, like some charges they pay to the NNPC, maybe they could put a moratorium on it. In your industry, what are the little things they can move around? And is it important for the federal government to also communicate with Nigerians? Because everybody's just watching the news and no official communication is coming from the federal government of Nigeria. We're left to our own, it's almost like we're on autopilot.
Yeah, I think the federal government has hands-off the issue of petroleum product pricing and distribution, because they have not made any impact for the last 2-3 years, and it's actually itching on people. That is why sometimes people keep on clamoring, the members of the DAPMAN keep on clamoring that there is a sole refiner, a sole distributor, and a sole retailer, which was what NNPC was. Government policies can definitely change a lot of things and bring security to the downtrodden, especially the masses. The first thing is that our pipelines that has been moribund for a very long period of time. There can be an emergency directive from Mr. President to ensure that most of these pipelines are being repaired as quickly as possible. When rehabilitating the pipelines will also bring succor, because the issue of transportation, the eve on transportation, AG is 1,750 naira now, and by the time you get it to your tank and move a truck from here from Abba to Gombe, you know what the cost is like. So if the federal government can bring an emergency rule to ensure that these pipelines are being restored, to ensure that some of these obsolete depots are also being restored, they can be able to take products from batches to some DAPMAN members and others of them. These are little frameworks that can be able to reduce the cost of petroleum product. No matter how insignificant this will go, it will bring a little bit succor, and they also broaden the market. Now, every truck in Nigeria moves to Ibeju, Apapa, Lekki, and Apapa. Most of these trucks take 3 to 5 days to get to their destinations. It's a really high toll on Nigerians. So if the issue of expanding the distribution chain, it will help reduce the price of petroleum product, because all these things are being calculated and it comes out from the pump price. So I believe that federal government can do something as quickly as possible with this kind of economy that is going to boom because of this crisis. All these energy talks sometimes will not help Nigerians. The federal government should come down and also understand the flight of Nigerians, that things are skyrocketing in the market. And any moment from now, you say we'll go to the streets to be able to protect the high cost of living in this country. So the issue of semantics in the energy industry will not be able to bring support to Nigerians. Federal governments have to do something very feasible, have to do something tangible that people can be able to see and understand that this government is reflective to the suffering of the masses. It's not the issue of long-time policies, third-time agenda and 15th-time. Those things does not help Nigerians at all. So we must have to make sure that all the structures, everything about our oil and gas industry is working. In terms of all these fees, trying to take products from to DAPMAN members, some of those fees are very, very exorbitant. Federal government can come in and look at some of these NIMASA fees, the depot charges and all the rest of them, and bring it down. And all these fees will be paid in Naira, nothing like dollar. All the fees be paid in Naira. You will see that DAPMAN members will be encouraged to go to Dangote and use their vessel to take petroleum products closer to the people, which will also reduce costs. All this story of that's what they can do, this thing has been deregulated. That is not correct. I'm talking about in Egypt now. They have cut down government expenses because of these issues. They have cut down the government expenses. Federal government can cut down government expenses, cut down government taxes, and ensure, look at what they do, and ensure that people can be able to have, get this present product and sell with little margin. We're the independent marketers now. We are borrowing more, and it's becoming more harder. You are seeing 4 or 5 filling stations sharing one truck because we cannot be able to get funds. The funds, the interest rate is so high, and by the time you bring this thing with the high cost of transportation, that's why you see products being sold at 1,400, 1,500, and 1,000. And the case may be, nobody understands when this thing will stop. So the issue of covering around laws and international community and all that, we must come down here and look at the Nigerians that we are governing and see their plight and see that things, if this inflation does not rip us off. That is what I'm talking about. Because we're the independent marketers, we feel this thing in our filling stations. The way the people abuse us as if we are the cause of the war in Iran.
Okay, I also wanted to ask, Mr. Okadike, just so you give a bit more clarity, because most of the reactions we've seen are people asking about the Dangote angle to the conversation, and there are those who wondered, what if Dangote wasn't established, what will happen to us? So is there, what's the Dangote angle to it? Is there a way that it makes it easier on us, and is there a way that it can make it easier on us?
Well, I thank God for that refinery, Dangote. Because if this Dangote is not around, by now, fuel will be around 3,000 naira per litre, as I'm talking to you, because those who are importing this product will use this opportunity to rip off the nation. So there is another way to it. I have mentioned these things before. Federal government should invite all these refiners and look at their electoral problems. Those who cannot be able to get crude oil, supply them crude oil as quickly as possible. Another refinery, all these refineries that are manufacturing locally, you give them crude oil and ensure that they are refining, and competition will set in. If there is no competition, Dangote might wake up tomorrow morning and look at the bent crude and look at how much he's going to make. And he's a businessman. He will also, as fast as possible, he will also recover his return on investment. So it is pertinent at this period of time that federal government should come in and take some drastic actions to be able to ensure that the poor and leveraging masses don't suffer this unnecessary hardship.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Okadike, for speaking with us. And also thank you so much, Mr. Famaroti, for joining us. I think we'd wait to see where this would take us. We do understand that Nigerians have to, in quotes, tighten their belt. Mr. Okadike had highlighted what's going on in Egypt, how they've cut the costs from governments, and also how maybe tax. I don't know if you can answer that in 30 seconds or less, Mr. Famaroti. What if the government decides to cut down on taxes, to just say, okay, taxes will be cut down to help people to manage the situation, or maybe the government can also look into the aspect of maybe removing, giving some relief on a certain, government, maybe taxes as well. What's your take?
So two quick things. One, it's very unlikely. I think the government has been very aggressive and bullish on its recent tax agenda. We know we all came into the year with talks about the tax reform bill and even people's getting tax straight from their bank account, right? So I think generally it's very unlikely that they're going to retreat in their tax agenda. The second thing, though, is the reality is a large chunk of the population that is most affected by the higher petrol prices are outside the formal tax net. So they will not benefit as much. So the government will need to look at more direct social intervention schemes if they want to support that group.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us, Mr. Famaroti, as well as Mr. Okadike. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we have an update on the story concerning the Rivers State crisis, the LGA and the teenager. There's an update on that story. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast Central. Guests, usually you'd expect that by now we should bring to you breakfast headlines and then head straight to the front pages of the newspapers. But like I did mention before the break, we have a special, and we do have our reporter who has been following this story neck to neck, you could say, and ensuring that there's consistency in order for us to get the final answer, a closure to the story. It's a story about a young lady, of course, who's an adult, if you put it that way, not a teenager, who decided to go to public schools in a local government area in Rivers State to highlight how the decadence and how poorly managed the schools have become and how it's unfit for students to go there and learn. Now, she put out a video. She also went to social media, talked about the school, the walls, the teachers, name them, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, we heard that there was a reprisal. She was visited by the members of the local government area, also with the chairman. And there were back and forth stories of her being beaten, her mother being strangulated, name them. And then she was also there talking to our reporter and expressing her views on what she did. Another update fell out this weekend that she was given 2.5 million naira, allegedly by the local government chairman. In other words, just to compensate her, a figure in which we also heard had been rejected, especially by her parents and the lady herself. This morning, we're equally joined by our reporter who has kept an eye on this story, Biola Festus, and we'll also have another guest who will be joining us to also highlight what the situation currently is. Thank you so much, Biola, for joining us this morning. Just as we usually do here on News Central. Yeah, as we usually do here on News Central, we keep our eyes on the story. We always ensure we feel the pulse of the people, come what may, whatever area we find ourselves. Can you give us an update on, first, the 2.5 million naira that was purportedly transferred to the account of the lady, allegedly, we do hear, we need to confirm. And secondly, can you also share with us if truly they were invited? There's a video we just played. Can you also confirm that video that they were hosted, as it were, by the local government chairman and members of the local government in a way of appealing to what they had done?
Thank you, Johansson. So the video that just went up there is not actually the video of her meeting with the council chairman. The next slide should be that of her meeting with the council chairman. Now, the video that just played is an hotelier that granted her, that gave her an offer to become an ambassador of his hotel. Now, this one playing right here was a mediation meeting brokered by the civil society organization between her and the LGA chairman. Now, it was after this meeting that Ogadima came out on social media again to cry out that the chairman allegedly transferred the sum of 2.5 million naira into her account. In her words, she termed it bribery. But I have not heard from the chairman himself because he had declined speaking to News Central from the beginning of this whole issue. But his social media people had also come on social media to say she actually wrote our account details for the chairman to transfer the money. And then they said that money was not bribery. It was just compensation, probably for her to get some medical treatment because of the injuries she had sustained. So there's been several twists to this story. And Ogadima herself, when I tried to reach out to her to confirm some of the things she had been putting up on social media, she has not been taking my call. The last time she took my call was when we had an interview. So she has not been taking my call. Also in the LG over the weekend, she and a netizen was at the LGA and they went there. If you look at the videos sent in, a part of the school's wall had been demolished, had been pulled down. Well, the aim was for them to go there, pull down the entire building, and then set up a new one. But there are questions surrounding that as well, Johansson.
Our second guest into the conversation, Chatam Nwalam, who's been following the story quite closely. What do you make of this Ogadima story with the local government chairman, Mr. Pele? What's really going on, and are you satisfied with the mediation efforts and being brokered by the civil society groups in Rivers State?
Thank you very much. In course of the session, I was actually present during this meeting between the local government chairman and Mr. Ogadima. Mr. Ogadima is a 26-year-old lady and a teenager. Most media have always trained her to be. And one would expect that at age, one should also know what she wants as a person. Because from the beginning, I was part of the Civil Liberty Coalition in Rivers. And from the beginning, she ran to us for help and for support and to get justice in this. One of the first things we ask her is justice. And your nation of justice would be what we are doing, because we must see the fact that we are satisfied to have gotten justice. And she told us that if she was able to get some monetary compensation, that she's very much okay with it. So for her, basically, it's if she's able to get monetary compensation, she was okay with it. So when a judge actually reached out to us and said, see, let us broker a meeting between these both parties, see how we can resolve the issues. We said, okay, no, there's nothing stopping us from doing that, even if sometimes also encourages alternative dispute resolution rather than going full-fledged. We invited the chairman came with his team. We were with her as her representatives. And in the course of the meeting majorly meeting, a protein meeting. But the meeting, we had discussed with her. We lined up about 4 items which we presented to the chairman. Those 4 items. And in the course of the meeting, the chairman has said the 4 items. One, that the school in question would have to be renovated. And that the chairman will do everything possible, whether it is within his scope or not, as local government chairman to renovate that the school must be renovated. We agreed on that. We have a timeline for that. Secondly, we also agreed and said, you must make sure that this lady and her mother has to be protected from both your supporters and those who feel aggrieved or whatever over what happened. The chairman assured us and told us what he is going to do is, because they are from the same community and they're also family members, that he is going to call his village. They are going to knock a town crier within the community and invite us, invite her, invite everyone within the community, where he's going to inform them that the issues between himself and her and her mother has been clearly resolved, and that that nobody should, for whatever reason, harm her or take any actions against her in that direction. That was sorted out. We agreed clearly to it. Then, when it came to, we told him, see, whether you like it or not, when it to the issue of for compensation, we agreed and said, okay, both you should agree on what you would agree. Whatever you agree, we will reconvene and now stamp seal everything we have discussed. We left them. I and the chairman were over 30 minutes, clean and all that. When we came in, they were already laughing and they were actually happy. They had agreed on whatever they agreed on. Some of us were not even privy at the time as to what they agreed on. We also insisted and said the girl must not return back to the village, that she has to sort it out with Port Harcourt at least until the tension around this situation dies down. The chairman too accepted and said, see, I am going to go ahead to rent an apartment for her, or I would even send her the money to rent the apartment. She wrote down her account number in our absence and handed the account number to the chairman. Having handed the account number to the chairman, we agreed, well, I said, since we have gotten this level of agreement in this issue, that what we are going to do is we are going to make sure that these matters are quite real. I also address and inform the press of the current status of things. Whilst we were doing that, she received a call, she stepped out. As she stepped out, she never came back. We kept on calling her, she wasn't taking her call, she wasn't rejecting the call. We kept on calling, sent her messages, she didn't reply or that. So as a group, we sat down and said, if at any point during the meeting, there was no time she expressed dissatisfaction or she expressed the fact that she wasn't comfortable with what was happening. She accepted. If you look at the video, you will see her smiling and happy. That was after we had completed everything with the meeting. You see her happy and smiling. But whatever action that took place, it became a shock to us. As a group, we sat down and the coalition and I said, see, this is what is going to happen. We are going to completely pull out of this order and allow her deal with things the way she wants to deal with. Because from what I've discovered, it is not beyond demand for justice. It is not looking critical because there are certain individuals who have gotten involved in this whole thing and are trying to rope us into the whole politics. And I and my list have agreed and said, see, we must not get ourselves involved in whatever local politics they're dealing with. That is why we took this CRO pattern is because they are all from the same community, they are all from the same family, and they have also agreed to resolve with themselves. It wasn't like it was forced on all of them. They agreed that let us come back, let us down, and look for a way to resolve this thing. Seems we are all from the same family. So on the strength of that, we keyed into it and let's get this done.
Just to quickly confirm, because we're out of time, I don't know if you can hear me, sir. Just quickly confirm if you can answer in 20 seconds. They had initially, everyone had agreed to settlement, to some form of compensation to her, right? What was the compensation for? Sure. Was there an agreement that she was being assaulted by the team of the local government chairman, by his brother?
Now, one of the things we try to avoid in the case of that conversation is a lot of and dog we can't go into the issues and raise up tension again. We agreed and said, let us look for a way forward. We first of seeing for this issue. Not who was
the network has been impacted. The network has been impacted and we're not able to hear you. Your voice is lagging and we're actually out of time. I'd hoped we could quickly chip that in 20 seconds, but we hope to reconnect with you. I'm sure our correspondent will reach out to her again and share this interview with her so that maybe we can hear her side of the story as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Viola Festus, for joining us as well. We'll now connect with our correspondent.
Yeah, let's go straight to Aisha Salihu, who's our correspondent for News Central. She is out and about checking out how Nigerians are coping with the biting fuel prices currently that's affecting every single person. Let's see if we can connect with Aisha Salihu this morning. We also have other reporters who are on standby to join us. And don't forget to, we'll also take a glance at the front pages of the newspapers in a moment. But please, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll be able to join with our correspondents and take a look at what's happening. Stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. We're going straight to the front pages of the newspapers. We do have a publisher, the publisher of the niche newspaper, Mr. Kechukwu Amechi, who joins us here live in the studios. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for being here.
Mr. Amechi, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Benga, good morning.
How was your commute to the, you know, these days when I'm driving, I don't put on AC, I don't put on radio. I'm saving my fuel.
Mr. Meji, we'll come back to your question because I can see you're getting up to give him more.
When he was just about to tell him welcome back from his paternity leave,
he quickly attacked him.
Just quickly attacked him.
To block it. You know, he's a defender, so he blocks it. But let's go to our correspondent in Abuja. We do have Aisha Salih, who is joining us in Abuja to give us the update on how the people in Abuja are feeling the fuel price hike. And then here in Lagos, we have Emmanuel as well, who joins us. Let's start off first with Aisha. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Benga, Joe, and Olive. I don't know if you can see me and you can hear me.
Absolutely.
Well, we are currently live at a fueling station here at the Central Business District in Abuja, the NNPC fueling station. And all morning we've been here and we've realized that the queue is gradually building up. And this is because of the price hike. And since we've been here, we've come to notice that the price has been hiked again. I mean, initially it was selling for 1,081 naira. Now it's 1,261 naira, which has, renewed the frustration for lots of the commuters and motorists who are around here. But then I'd love to bring forward one of the commuters who's here to tell you how this is definitely affecting him and his business. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mama. How are you?
So you're live on TV. I'd like to hear from you. How is this increment in pump price affecting your business as a commuter?
Already it is affecting my business because yesterday I think the fuel was still around 1,081 naira. But I got to this police station this morning, I discovered that the fuel price is 1,261 naira, which is what I don't expect. So it's getting out of hand. I don't even know what to do. Even as I'm standing here with you, I don't have enough with me, and without the fuel, my car cannot leave here. So I don't just know what to do. As I'm talking to you now, what to do, I did not know. So it's getting out of hand. We don't know where we're going to. We don't know what is even happening. And we can't see anybody, to put it in an explanation for us to understand what is happening. And after all, this way we have it in Nigeria. God bless us so much. So why we are bothering ourselves, nobody knows. So nobody knows. Thank you very much. I don't know.
Okay, well, Olive Benganjo, you've heard from one of the commuters and the motorists here who has said it looks like there's nobody putting it in the right perspective for them to understand why this is going on, especially as we have this commodity in our country, and it definitely is affecting him owing to the fact that yesterday the pump price was a lot lesser compared to what he's seen this morning. And as you can see, just over there, there are lots of vehicles that are parked here. Earlier, before you came to me, the gates were shut because of the fact that they were trying to adjust the price, and most of the motorists here thought perhaps they weren't going to sell. Some of them were even already trying to set out because this is supposed to be an early Tuesday morning where people were expected to go on to carry on their businesses and start their day. But this is the situation here where we are at the moment. We're supposed to get more people to speak with us, but I'm afraid due to the frustration that they are facing, a lot of them have refused to speak to us, apart from the young man who just spoke to us. But we also have another man here who would also want to talk to us. Good morning, sir. Please join me. Good morning. I'd like to hear from you, please. How is this increase in pump price affecting you?
It's affecting badly because some minutes ago it was 1,081 naira. But now it's about 1,261 just within 30 minutes, which is really bad. Because I called some of my friends, some couldn't drive to the office, some also had to pay high fare in order to get to the office. So this is really affecting us. It's not good for us at this point in time.
Well, you've heard from Mr. Gregory, and he's saying that this has also affected commuters, people who have had to go to work this morning or go to their places of businesses, as they've now have to pay more in prices. I mean, transportation fare to get to the office, and some persons now have to go to the office or go to their places of business late. Others are stranded on the roadside, and this is definitely what is going on right here in this filling station that we are.
That any of us want for our country and for our citizens. But thank you for bringing us updates. We will continue to follow the story. Let's now come to Lagos, where Emmanuel is also bringing us reports about the pump price of petrol. Emmanuel, what's the current reality? How much is it? Are you able to are people able to buy petrol, and how are they reacting to the latest updates in the pump price of petrol?
All right, now thank you very much. Actually, I've been able to, the reason why I'm presently at Ogba here, I've checked so many filling stations, and looking at the filling stations, pump prices now are over 1,200. To one that I saw was 1,220 naira to a litre. Another I just saw now is 1,247 naira to a litre. And right here, I want to feel the pulse of people in terms of the price and how has it affected them. I have one here with me, which is a commuter, is someone that drives this So my brother, please, now I would like to talk to you about the price. Please come up, please. So now, how does this price, you face this way, how has this price of affected you? Now you drive this, how has it affected you?
It affects me. Because passenger self no even want to pay the amount they call them. If they carry 300 and tell them say 400 now, they will say, what happened? And they know that fuel is increased. If they buy fuel now, 1,250. So everything is cost. Even keke self it costs. Keke now is 4.5, 4.2. So we don't tire. I'm tired. I don't know. If I see another way, I'll find my way. Because this Nigeria, I'm tired for it. Oh, that is it.
Thank you very much, brother. Now, that is the plight of one person saying that even passengers are even complaining about the price since they've increased it. Now, I think I'll have one more person who can talk to us about this. Our brother, let me talk to my brother here who can talk to us about this. He has been complaining here since morning, and I said, that would be the best way for me to hear his own side. And so I have a brother here. My brother, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, your name first, then you tell us.
My name is Michael.
Okay, now, how do you feel about the situation, looking at the fuel price now, and how has it affected you?
It's really biting seriously, because it's almost affected everything. I think it affected transportation more, and affected economic activities again. And you find it very difficult to meet up with just less than 5 days. You can see there's no regulatory policy in terms of trying to make sure that there's unique price everywhere. All of a sudden, the filling station started adjusting, prices, pump price and all that. I don't know whether it was a government direction or whatever, but it's not too good for people who are, living on daily basis, who are making sure they survive on a daily basis in an already fractured economy. We find ourselves currently now. It's not funny at all, because the increase is much. It has reduced our economic activities, engagements on daily basis. A lot of people are at home. A lot of people cannot be able to come out as a result of that. And you can see how everywhere looks. I don't know where this thing is actually coming from. That all of a sudden, even without government announcement in terms of increasing pump price, we saw just all of a sudden. And but that's Nigeria for you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. So that's it. We've heard from different people talking about the situation and how it has affected them. So from what they're saying is more or less like they're believing and they're praying and they are hoping that this high price of fuel is rectified soon, and so that the economic activities, the burden on it about it will be reduced on them. From Lagos, Emmanuel Olubobokun.
Thank you, Emmanuel. From Emmanuel, we move to another Emmanuel, but this time around in the confluence city, a manna from heaven type, Mana Balagogo, joins us from the confluence city, Lokoja in Kogi State. Good morning, Mr. Balagogo. What's the situation in Kogi State this morning, and what's the price of petrol? How are commuters coping with this new reality?
Mana Balagogo, are you there with us? All right, seems like, oh my goodness, I know where this place is. That is Mobile filling station in Victoria Island, and this is scary to imagine. But let's come back into the studio and talk about this before we get into the papers. That's the biggest story. Let's have Mr. Ikechukwu Amechi react to our current reality.
It is to be expected. Of course, war has consequences. I was there last week, and I did say that we are in a very bad place. The world is in a very bad place. Of course, some people called in last week rejoicing that America was bombing Iran.
So did they know?
And they thought that, of course, that the Middle East is not far away from us, but we are in a global community. The world has become a global village, as it were. And even beyond that, what we are dealing with is a country that is at the center of oil production. And crude oil runs the world, if I could use that expression. Saudi Arabia, Oman, Iran, all of them, all the countries in the Gulf region, that is the epicenter of crude oil production in the world. So when there is a crisis there of this magnitude, common sense should tell anybody who knows anything that it will have consequences, global consequences. So when people are rejoicing that Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are bombing Iran, moreover, in what I call a war of blame, what are you fighting for? Donald Trump says he wants to stop Iran from being a threat to the United States of America. How? Like they did in Iraq now some years back, when they accused Saddam Hussein of
weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction, which turned out to be a lie. Oman was also mediating in a peace parley between America and Iran. And the Omani foreign minister, I said it here last week, said that Iran had agreed to all the conditions that were given to them. And on the eve of signing that agreement, Donald Trump and Netanyahu went on this bombing spree, which has put us in this mess we are in now. And it's not going to end today.
Donald Trump recently said that his justification is that Iran was 2 weeks away from making a bomb. The United States Department of Defense, in a congressional hearing, Pentagon, they said their intelligence says Iran is not capable of making bombs from the situation that they are years away from. So who do we believe? Can the President of the United States be lying, perhaps?
Well, Trump has always lied. He's known for lying. So it's not as if it's anything new. Even the State of the Union address he gave, was it 2 weeks ago? He was fact-checked, and there were about 38 lies.
Wow.
So it is not anything new that Trump lives in his own fantasy. He's not a realist. Anything that comes to him, anything that comes to his mind.
Without deep thought, very unpresidential on him.
He says, Iran was by no means near the production of any bomb. Donald Trump knows that for a fact. The American intelligence community,
IAEA, the International Atomic Agency.
Everybody knows that for a fact. So it is not to stop Iran from having nuclear bombs that they went to bomb Iran. One day, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu will have to tell the world why they are doing what they are doing. Because it goes beyond destroying a country. They have destroyed the rule-based world order that has been in place since 1945. The United Nations is no longer talking because nobody listens to them.
They are talking, they are deeply concerned, and they are condemning its statements.
It doesn't make any sense because nobody is listening to them and nobody is going to, they can't do anything. They are constrained. Donald Trump has upended the world order
We'll get back to that shortly, Mr. Amechi, and also possible ways out of this mess. But let's go to the confluence city, Lokoja, where we have our correspondent, Mana Balagogo, to give us an update on the present reality of spike in fuel prices. Hi, Mana, good morning. How is Lokoja this morning? Commuters, what is everyone saying about, and how much are the petrol stations selling PMS?
Yesterday, when we went around filling stations across the city, it was ranging from 1,085 naira to 1,091 naira. This particular filling station where I'm at the moment, MRS filling station, yesterday they were selling for 1,091 naira, and right now, if you can see right there on the screen, it is 1,280 naira. We have a road user who is standing by me. Good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name?
Good morning. My name is Honorable Bashir Savo. I reside in Lokoja, Kogi State. Yesterday, I bought fuel at the rate of 1,065 naira. But coming this morning, I'm seeing 1,280 naira. In this country, we don't know where we are heading to because fuel keeps increasing every day, every night. So this is a problem to Nigeria. We are urging Mr. President to do something about it because many people is going to affect them. Even as the fuel is increasing now, it also affecting the food stuff. It also affecting things a lot that we cannot be able to expect it. So we are appealing to the Mr. President to help us to look into this. But I don't know what is the cause of all this increment of fuel every day, every night. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for speaking with us. Benga, this is just one of the many concerns that citizens in Lokoja have with the increment of fuel. Just by my left, we have a very beautiful young woman. Please, can you quickly talk to us about your concerns about the issue of fuel? Thank you so much.
It will be very likely for them to, they can reduce the fuel. The amount is too much. From 860, I guess, to 160, or some people want 1,100 naira. It's not funny at all. If they can reduce it, we'll be very happy and we'll appreciate them. Thank you.
All right, thank you for speaking with us. All right, back to you, Benga. Residents here are asking government to do something because it is really not funny. Even for people who will, maybe take the tricycle or the bike. They were complaining yesterday when we went out to speak with them. So these are just some of the concerns that residents here in Lokoja are sharing regarding the fuel, the hike in fuel prices all over the country, most especially from the confluence city in Lokoja. Back to you, Benga.
Thank you so much, Mana Balagogo, for that update in Lokoja. I will continue to monitor the situation closely.
Absolutely. Well, let's also mention that the federal government had said that there will be 14 days of repair works on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, especially outbound Lagos area. But as we speak now, since that announcement was made, nothing has started yet. Before we come back to take more comments on the front pages of the newspapers with our in-house analysts, we do have Israel Iferobo, who is back. And he's there to tell us what the update simply is. Good morning, Israel Iferobo. Just behind you there, we can see cars plying the roads smoothly. Can you give us an update on the repair works? If it started or it was just a statement that was made out of wanting to show working, as it were?
We seem to be having some technical difficulties connecting with Israel Iferobo. We'll try to reach him in the course of our program.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, let's get into the front page of the paper as quickly as we can. The Nigerian Tribune, of course, big story, talks about Nigerians growing as petrol price rises. Appeal court nullifies Ibadan PDP convention. Zamfara governor joins APC, making it 31 out of 36.
Mr. Bello Matawale, in the last few days, over 100 Nigerians have been killed. He didn't speak about it. He's Minister of State for Defense, but so quick to issue a statement congratulating Governor Dauda Lawal for joining the APC, being the 31st, 31 over 36.
I'm calling him my brother. At last. So when before we go back to the PDP dilemma, as it were, you know, the implication of this rising cost of petroleum products is that it's going to have an impact on cost push inflation. Because, look, we are just...
If it doesn't go back to what it was anytime soon.
Even if it goes back today.
Or the damage has been done.
The damage has been done, and it's going to take some time to go back to where we were before this nonsense started. Yes, because what is happening now is that if people who were buying petrol below 1,000 naira just the other day, and we're talking about Lagos, the filling stations I saw this morning, they were saying 1,235, and this is Lagos. You can't be sure that if you go to places like Imo or all those other
in-country, yeah,
distance, you could be getting to 1,400 naira. When transporters hike the transport fare, it's going to have multiplier effect on every other thing. So we are celebrating that we have inflation that has dropped to 15.1%. Don't be surprised that when that of March is presented to us, it's going to climb up again. People are complaining about Dangote Refinery, and I'm just smiling. Because, you know, before Dangote came on stream, people were saying, Dangote Refinery, as if it was going to solve any problem. It's not going to solve any problem.
But it has reduced the impact, hasn't it?
Dangote is in business. Yes. He's a businessman, for crying out loud. And he's not going to, particularly when he is importing part of the crude oil.
Yes, it's not like he's manufacturing crude oil. He needs crude oil.
Exactly. And he's not even getting 100% of the crude oil from Nigeria. He's importing. So he can't use that to produce petrol and then sell to you at a subsidized rate, unless government is going to put money. And government has told you that there is no longer a subsidy. So Nigerians are in for a very rough time. And even the so-called money we are going to make from a hike in the price of crude, as this morning, I think it has climbed above $100 now per barrel. Yeah. So we're going to make a whole lot of money, but the effect, the impact of the price of petrol is going to
the profit. Yeah.
Wipe out anything that we are doing. Then the second thing is how well will the federal government even manage what comes to them, because this is not the first time we're going to have oil windfall.
We even had excess crude oil at one point.
Exactly. So back to the PDP issue.
Okay, before you touch on that, let's quickly go back to Israel, whose connection I hear is good to go.
We're going to Kara Bridge.
Yes.
We're not going to Israel.
Yes, let's go back to, I beg your pardon. Let's go back to Israel and Ferobo, our reporter.
Good.
Big guys,
I have to fact check ourselves. This is head to head.
Oh, goodness. I wish I had more time so we can discuss that as well. Israel, give us an update very quickly. Let's go, let's go.
Good morning, guys. Absolutely, you're not going all the way to Israel. We are here in Lagos, and we are at Kara Bridge. Joe and Benga and Olive. So today is March 10th, and this is the day the Federal Ministry of Work announced to Lagosians and Nigerians that work on this bridge will commence. From what we can see here right now, we haven't seen anything here that looks like repair work will be commencing anytime soon. We got on ground here and we met officials from the Federal Road Safety Corps, and they did say to us that they were also waiting for that to happen, which unfortunately hasn't happened just yet. Now, why is this important? Some Lagosians will be thinking, that there will be some sort of gridlock on this road right now, but no, the road is absolutely free right now. The repair work has not commenced. If you look straight through, you see exactly where the section of the bridge is really faulty and damaged, and that's where the repair work will commence from. What you see here also is what they will use to barricade the road much later when the work eventually commences. But so far so good. That work has not happened so far, and we are waiting to see how that will happen. It is on the Lagos outbound section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and we're hoping that yes, two weeks from now, maybe they would have started. 2 weeks from now, they would have started, and the work would have been completed, because it's really just an expansion joint that needs to be fixed. On the other side, coming into Lagos, it has already been fixed. So what remains here is for the outbound section on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which is yet to commence. Today is March 10th, and we're waiting for officials from the Federal Ministry of Works, who just, by the way, stepped in a while back, just before we came live here, but nothing as far as repair work has commenced so far here on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Joe.
We hope that these repairs will commence soon. We'll come back to, we'll keep following up with you on that story. Thank you very much, Israeli Ferrable, for joining us to bring us update from Kara Bridge. Do and come back home. Let's come back into the studio here and talk about, very quickly, we have less than 3 minutes.
He wanted to talk on the PDP.
Okay, PDP.
Yeah.
The
APC. I don't know. The both stories, one is celebrating, one is... Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that the chickens have come home to roost, finally, for PDP. With the judgment that the appeal court gave yesterday, what is almost obvious, of course, the Turaki-led group now said they may go to Supreme Court.
They're saying they're going to the Supreme Court.
And then Wike said now is the time for everybody to come together and do all that. The implication is that the PDP may not be in a position to field any candidate for the 2027 elections, particularly a presidential candidate, which essentially is what this battle is all about. Wike wants to weaken PDP, so much so that the party does not present any challenge whatsoever to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he has openly confessed is his candidate for the 2027 election. And I think he has succeeded to a very great extent. Yesterday, the governor of Zamfara, Dauda Lawal, defected from PDP to APC. Some people are saying he's that APC now has 31 governors. But I think it is actually 32. Because apart from Sheyi Makinde of Oyo, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, Alex Soti of Abia, and Chukuma Soludo, is there any other governor?
Even Chukuma Soludo self, he's Abga supporting APC.
So Adeleke.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And
true.
That's not going to join. He's moved already.
So they are 31.
Yes, over
now.
36.
And most of the governors who are moving to APC are not doing so because they see anything or they so much believe in APC. But of course, they know what has happened in this country. That if care is not taken and if they don't move quickly, particularly some of them that may want to run for the second term, that if they don't move, Bala Mohammed has nothing to lose because he's in his second term. Sheyi Makinde has nothing to lose because he's in the second term unless he's not in a presidential ambition. But these other ones, they have an ambition to run for a second term. And if they remain with PDP, they may not. The court may say that they don't have a valid nomination because of the crisis that is. So they are going to where it is safe for them.
Adeleke saw the handwriting on the wall. That's why he moved. Yeah.
And left. So PDP, I don't see how PDP is going to recover from this. Wike may think that, okay, after 2007, then he will come back to reorganize PDP. We will wait to see what happens then. But the truth of the matter is that as we go into the 2027 election, Wike has succeeded in destroying PDP for the benefit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
What a tragedy.
What a tragedy. That's how we enter.
Wow.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Mechi.
Mr. Mechi, finally, before we go, I wanted to ask you where I can purchase a horse, because I drive a V8 engine car and I'm planning to ditch it. And maintaining a horse is cheaper. They only eat egg, indomine, and dustbin. So
it's not hard. Come to the island. Back in the day, you know, when we're coming to work,
around
you see
the
all those horses around the Legushi. You can be driving, you see horse crossing the road.
help me
You
price
slow down.
and purchase a horse.
I shall do that.
Because this petrol price is not sustainable, my sister.
I agree with you. Or we can bring our bicycle. So that will help you feel fit as well.
Next week Thursday, Mr. Michi will bring my horse.
We need to wrap up and get out of the studio so we can go and hunt for Benga's horse.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. See you tomorrow. Do stay well.
Bye-bye.
Jasiri comes up next.
Happy birthday, Tunde Raji.